a background. That's the first time we see the company founders dressed up for the occasion. So, yeah. Yeah, Sea Wolf, that's your logo. So that's something we've seen in the brief in the
Yes. That's something.
Well, we have an interesting company now, company presentation. And so what's especially interesting about it is that one of the co-founders is Maria, who was first the X-Culture student, then she was the X-Culture coach. Now she's helping us in all kinds of things in a more senior role. And then in addition, she has a company with her husband. And so we thought it's a company that is, it's not only an interesting case, but it's also a product that, you know, is designed essentially for education, business education. And we thought it would be a useful, interesting product for the students to work on. And so the goal of today's meeting is to learn more about the company, its history, its product, its business model, ask questions, answers, and then see how X-Culture students could help grow your business. So I'm turning the microphone to you guys. And yeah, let's start with the company history. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do, where you came from, where the idea came from, and then we'll go point by point student questions.
With pleasure. Thank you. So
you're the captain, right, Vladimir?
Ahoy, ahoy! I'm the captain on the ship, but we are duo. This ship has two steering wheels. So one is mine, one is Maria's. We are two founders of this venture.
Vladimir's, yeah.
Vladimir Sivanovs and Maria Mayer.
So you are in Latvia, right, at this time?
Yes, yeah. And we are from Latvia.
Important to ask, so Maria's, and I think both of you were in Georgia, stuck in Georgia, or was it?
Yes.
Yes, at the beginning of the year, last semester, so Maria was one of our coaches at that time, so they went to Georgia, the country Georgia, not the state, country Georgia, for what, a business trip or a holiday, or?
No, Vladimir.
I finished my project with agile transformation of British Petroleum in Georgia, and went just to return the computer.
Yeah. And then the COVID pandemic and lockdown struck, and so they got stuck in Georgia for like several months. How long did you?
Half a year old.
Almost, yeah, so, 5 months and something.
So they just couldn't leave home because of the pandemic lockdown, and they didn't obviously have, you know, packed for the occasion. Like you didn't have clothing, you didn't have all the resources that you need, and so. But now, by now, you probably can speak Georgian a little bit, right? So you know.
We don't, but our daughter, yes.
Daughter knows the alphabet, the Georgian alphabet, and
well,
so
I can say Kabarjoba, right?
Yeah, Kabarjoba, yes.
Yes. So, but now you're at home in Latvia, right?
Yes, we are back in Latvia, and we continue to do our trainings. We are not just the inventors of the games, but also of the workshops, and we run them online. And this Sea Wolf also was adapted for online now, and it is one of the challenges that we facing now, how to promote this online version of this game.
Let's start from tell us more about where it all came from, what's this game about, or what the company's model is, and then we'll get to questions and more details.
Okay, to start with, my background is in project management. I spent 16 years on the board of Project Management Association, and that was interesting years because many mega projects I saw. I trained other people who are using project management in serious projects, but what I always seen that learning project management, is it really fun? Nah, because what I've seen a curriculum that is large and it's growing in size. International Project Management Association, ICB standard, doubled in pages. PMBOK as well is growing. And the result is what we see in auditoriums. Now we don't see if a student is bored, he is just switching off the camera and that's it.
Is that a professor sleeping there? Because it seems like it's the whole class, not only just.
I think it's a nap. Maybe it's a training in sleeping. But this is how I sometimes perceive learning project management. And we just try to guess what can be done. So out of this problem, we invented approaches that experientially invented approaches how to make it more fun. And we ended up with a game that we spent 2 years on iterating from very simple something to advancing, making design better. Maria spent a lot of effort to make it visual, to make each competence that you need to know in project management.
With a unique icon that symbolizes
that can be easier to remember. And we ended up with final product that we introduced on Project Management Congress, World Congress of IPMA. And that was...
So this is the actual game, right? So I see.
Yes. This is the actual good game.
That's the real
board
thing,
game.
Stock photo. It's the actual game.
Yes.
And there's 6 players, for example, and board for all these project steps and phases. That in each phase there's different challenges and different opportunities, situations, and the team
risks and opportunities.
Yes, risks and opportunities, and team has to bet on these competences. Inside you in the middle there is the icons with the competences, and they have to pick 3 most relevant for this specific situations.
Mm-hmm. And as game progresses, they start to understand better the link between the theory that is in the center and the practical situations that they discuss.
Yeah, and most fun is when they are competing with other teams, because each table is like a ship. Yeah,
this is why we are wearing these hats.
Okay,
when we run a competition, we give to each captain on each table a hat, and then the teams compete. And if you have real prizes, they are very serious about it. Yes.
So is the game designed for a sort of like, can it be part of a business course, or is it more for kind of fun, or what are the sort of circumstances or context in which it can be used?
Okay. In game design to be used in training for IPMA certification, that's one of the most popular applications. But also it can be used in introducing project management, the competence model and idea, because there are 2 views on project management in general in the world, that it is about processes and then you will have success in project, or it's about people and then you will have success. Probably the truth is in the middle, but what usually people lack in project management is how to how to structure their work with the competences and skills that are required in the project. And this standard, international standard, offers a solution, IPMA. But the problem, it's quite boring to learn.
Yeah, because it's a lot of text. If you read it, it's just a lot of text. But for example, in Latvian University, in Riseba, they are playing this game with the students, and they are learning these competences, and it's somehow they use it like an introduction in a project management.
The list of universities that are now using this in their curriculum is probably less than 100, but it's more than 30, 40, because we during these 3 years have introduced through different member associations to many countries, and it's available in different languages. Mm-hmm. So here you can see the very first
or second already iteration. The design is already like.
And the group that is here is actually leaders of organizing crew of the World Congress. They are testing the game because it was played with all participants. Yeah, they are professionals, experts in project management, but they as well are having fun. So basically, the game can be used not only for the ones who would like to learn about project management, but also for the practitioners who would like to refresh their knowledge, who would like to team build before they start a serious project as a kickoff. And there are many different applications, practical applications. This photo is from the Young Crew Congress, which where people from different countries come together to the Congress, and it's age level that they have separate Congress, and we played there, but we also played on the big Congress. And for example, here at the table, we see leaders of the Project Management Association from India. Here we can see vice president of IPMA products. So the board, the game is visible at the association at the high level, and it's used for promoting these standards and services.
Yeah, and there was how many tables?
Here, the one of the rooms. This one is in Russian stream. So it was played with several hundreds. So here were something like 200 people.
Yeah, and there was two streams. One was
so we had a lot English, of volunteers.
Another was in Russian, and yeah, there was a lot of
the people with hats going around helping people at the tables play. They are volunteers, facilitators.
And it was hard for them to sit down. They were standing up and just putting their bets, and as more quicker they decided that no, we have to go faster. Who will be the first? And so they jumped up.
But again, here on this table you see leaders of Latin American Project Management Association. On the next table, Japan Association.
And they seem to be quite happy here too. So
and they are quite happy because and before
these are not kids. I mean, these are grown up, you know, full size adults, so to speak. And so it seems like the game is fun. So yeah.
So before, this was not a kind of a standard of
this topic
experience. Before the Congress is very serious, you know, in suit and
with a lot of presentations.
You don't play. You look at serious presentations. It's serious stuff. But what we made is that we made it more human, more fun, and we like it.
Yeah, and there is a package that you can see. Now we adjusted a bit, but it is in a tube. So that the huge board is put. We were putting it in this.
That's what the game looks like when it's packed, sort of.
Yes.
Now it's a plastic tube with more branding. That was the first version. So this is the president of the association and organizer of the Congress. So that was a nice kickoff. We have a Facebook, but what I want to highlight is the complementary stuff that anyone can use. Along with the game, there is a free application, mobile application that can be downloaded for both iOS and Android. And this looks like this map of competences. You click on it, you get the explanation and key information, what it is about. So this becomes very quick and handy way to carry with you, very short and visual summary.
And idea behind this board, for example, it was like in a chemistry. You have this
in the left table.
Yeah, with the elements, and so we put them in some visual way, and it became much more easier to remember them, how much how many of them are in which category and so on.
Like, for example, now you could clearly see that there are 5 perspective competences. They are different color and category. There are soft skills in the middle, and they are just 10, and the rest is practice competences, and then it becomes very, very simple to remember.
Yeah, and this mobile app is available in 2 languages. So you download it, inside is English basic, and then you open with this Ruski язык, and you will see Russian as well.
Mm-hmm. So how old is the company? I've seen some pictures were dated 2017, so it must have been then, you must have started with the idea much earlier than that, right?
Yes, how long it took? At almost more than a year, we was iterating to create this board game. But there was totally different design, totally different rules at the beginning. And there was several iterations that we invited our friends, our colleagues to play this game, to try to play it, how it is. And it took, the first time, I don't remember, 2 hours or more. It was very long. And so it took quite big efforts to make it shorter, to make it possible to play it within 1 hour. So, or about an hour.
Yeah.
So,
and it can be played one table at a time, or it can be multiple tables kind of competing against each other, or how does it work?
Better if there is competition between at least 2 tables. But it is possible that you play, then you change a bit your focus. The goal of this game, that not just competing, but you are making some kind of team building, and you have to fit in a specific time span. So,
yeah, yes.
Just stop share.
No. This competition, the set that you have in the tube, if you can start a website, I can show from the blog news that how it looks like. So in this tube, what comes is trainer set, which has 5 board games, 5 sets, yes. And for example, here you can see better how it looks like. So this is typical like tube. Inside are the board games with situation cards, decks, and with trainer's handbook, and you can run a competition as a trainer with up to 30 people, which is fully enough for the class.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very interesting. So I have a few questions about your business model. So
Sure.
One, production. So at least initially, and to some extent, I understand now, even though you do have an electronic copy, but it's also a physical product. So how
Yes.
do you make it? Did you make it yourself? Did you outsource the production? I mean, it looks very professional. It seems like it's a, not a homemade product. So how did you handle the production?
Sure. What we have invested in professional design, and we work with distribution network. So anyone can become a distributor. So we started with these member associations in different countries. There are still a lot of potential, not all covered. But also private companies or some universities can also become distributors. And the model is very transparent. Each distributor gets 30% of the income, and we ship by post already ready products, and by this we control the quality of the product and ensure consistency, that on different parts of the world the game looks the same.
Yeah, because
So
we
the
print
actual
in
production,
Latvia.
the print, is it done
Yeah.
in Latvia, or do you?
Yes, in Latvia.
Yes, and by the way, Latvian startup Printify is quite popular also internationally.
Yeah, but we don't use them services.
We don't use them
Just don't mix
yet.
up.
Yet, if we increase the volume, we probably will need.
Yeah. Now there is a question from one of the participants. So what is the price of the product? How much does the game cost? And is it, I'm curious, is it a fixed price, like you buy it and that's it, or there is like a subscription, or how does it work with the with paying for the game?
Okay.
So the pricing model is one-time fee for the physical game.
And the reason behind that, just explained it.
And the reason is that when I was trainer of other simulations, the business model of other companies is always asking for a license. You play once, and then you pay a quite significant fee. And I thought that this is unfair, and changed the business model completely. So it's one-time fee. You get the fishing rod, and you can fish as many times as you want. And moreover, what I provide is value-added service, which is train the trainer session. It comes also for some fee, but what the trainers get, they get experience of all other trainers summarized and presented by me.
Yeah.
What are the cases and possible applications, how this game can be used and generate marketing, income, happy customers, etc.
Yes.
And the price for the set of Train the Trainer is 900 euro.
Mm-hmm. And
so it's 5 games.
So are there any add-ons that I can buy? Like, I mean, so once I buy the game, so if I wanted some additional support, or I don't know, so it's all included in that initial price, or there are still some add-ons that I can pay for later?
Currently, that's basically it. You get all you need. Mm-hmm. What we have in the future, in the pipeline, that we can create the new additional sets of the situation cards, and offer us additional service, because these sets can come with a specific of different industry, like set from specifically construction industry, or IT industry.
So it is a pricey game. So it's something more for the trainers, as I understand, rather than something that I would buy to have at home for a weekend.
Yes.
Game. So can you describe your typical customer? So who are the people or organizations that buy the game?
Yes, sure. The typical customer is a project management trainer or consultant. So professor who has a class, that's also very typical popular customer. Personally, professors don't buy, not all, but their universities see it as a very good investment, because it basically comes at the cost of few books.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. So I thought that in many cases it would be probably the university that makes the pay, and then the game sort of stays in the department, and then whoever teaches the course can use it. And so the tube comes with 5 sets. So if a professor has a larger class and has 5 tables, that tube covers the whole. Yeah, makes sense. So what is your sort of distribution channel at this time, or how do you advertise and how do you reach those customers? Are you placing your own ads, or are you working with some distributors? You mentioned something about the 30% distributor distribution fee. So can you explain more about your kind of distribution chain?
Okay, so this International Project Management Association is an association of more than 70 country associations. And they have own local network with professionals, universities, etc. That's one significant channel. The second channel is related with professional communities, where project management, for example, project management congresses, where researchers come together, and the researchers usually are tightly connected with professors, and then yeah, they are very interested in gamification of the education process.
How about the online games? So again, how much does it cost? What is the pricing model? And how is it different from the physical cardboard game?
Okay.
It's open.
Yeah, let's open the
What
submission that is sent to all students. All this information is in the pack that
Yep.
students will get. So basically, the online game looks a little bit different. Here you can see.
No, we are not sharing. Just,
Okay.
Just let me.
Are you opening, or do you want me to
Yeah,
open that PDF? Okay, you have it. Okay,
yes.
go ahead.
Okay.
I have it also in front of me here.
So-
no, we are opening the website.
So on the web,
So
you can just see this is how the online board looks like. It's almost one-to-one copy. So when we were in Georgia, we had a good hobby, how to make it available online. So we used a combination of Google Docs, Google Forms, in order to make the same experience that people get when playing physical board, to make as close as possible same experience when they play it online. And we almost succeeded and even in some aspects we exceeded expectations, because, for example, when you submit the right answer in the physical game, you see only right answer, but justification can be provided only by trainer from the trainer's book. Here in the online version, when you submit the right answer in the form, you immediately get all the explanations with particular links to the standards highlighted, which is better, more learning for participants. Yes.
So this online version, that's a mobile app, or is it a web?
No.
No, this
Web-based.
This is web-based. So this is what we give to the trainer. We give access to Google document package, basically. And
is the pricing different for the online version?
yes, what's different that in this time it's not just one-time fee. What we charge is the number of plays, but the pricing is significantly lower. So the price of one game is €100. So when you have a class, it's €100, and you can get you can become a trainer by getting a pack of 10 licenses. We have visibility over all plays and statistics, because all the answers come together to our kind of database.
Yeah, got it. In terms of running your business, so you've been around for a few years, but it's still a relatively small company. What kind of challenges as business owners or business founders have you experienced primarily? And so what's been so far the greatest challenge to your sort of global growth? So
the biggest challenge is that we as founders, we lack of focus probably on just this game. If we would be doing this absolutely 100%, building a team for the sales. Probably we could speed up. A limitation was also my personal network, because in the congresses where I show up with presentation or online workshop, I cover the certain audience, and the people who know me better, they come closer and then have a dialogue. But probably I'm not present everywhere.
Yeah.
I cannot be present everywhere. That's very limiting factor, and that's why we are developing this online presence. So for this online material, what we have developed is a Facebook page for this game, with a lot of information, different albums from different member associations. And what we also are planning to do is to develop some complementary free materials that will attract probably more people. But one of the challenges that we put in front of the students is that we have already a free mobile application that can be useful to anyone who is interested.
This is a Facebook
How it can be used for promoting or attracting these interested potential customers. Yeah. Second is the online workshops that we can do with Maria together.
There is a question also about the online version. So when people buy the online version, is it still going to be played within the same physical room, or in that case, the players can be anywhere on the planet?
No, they can be anywhere.
So when it's an online version, then you join Zoom or Teams. That's up to the trainer, which platform he is using. What he actually needs is the breakout rooms, where to send participants for the 50 minutes of the game.
Yeah,
and during that process, Maria will show how the Google sheet looks like with a game. And during that 50 minutes, participants have the Google sheet where they have all the field, and they also have
player's
log where they enter results, and it automatically collects, and the outcome, the one who will win with less spent budget will.
So it's summarized, and there is formulas behind it. So it's much easier to cover all the results.
When they come to the situation of risk or opportunity, they come to this part and then click one of the events. And this event here, they register their team name, and they make a choice. And the particular situation here is coming from particular project.
3 options. I just from these competences, and I also used the icons, at least some emoji that symbolize something similar, like in our board game. And they can see view accuracy, and there is immediate feedback about the results, what was right, what was wrong,
and as well justification
from this ICB
from the standard, pointing to particular chapters of the standard, so you can also make the learning more deeper.
Yeah, makes sense. So it is actually more for learning, so it's not just simply fun. It is actually
no, it's serious.
Yeah. And so I really like that you can have players anywhere in the world, because now, especially as the universities have to be online with all these lockdowns going on, so my students can be literally anywhere in the world. And so if I had to use something like this, it makes the online classes a little bit more lively. And I can teach even if my students are everywhere, all around the planet. So very interesting.
Yeah.
Any other products, any other products that your company is offering? Like, for example, there is a question here from Zorka about maybe easier or simpler or more affordable options of the game. So is the game the company, or there is more that your company does?
We have several. Then I would say that we have several brands.
You can show this. As individuals, we have this Seawolf and Competent.PM as a brand that is distributing and promoting it. Mm-hmm. But we also have developed two more. One is Agile Transformer.
It's our training company that we are providing some
coaching and training for
agile transformation, and behind that we use a lot of different online also games and
let us show some examples.
Oh, that's you in the picture. Yeah, I didn't recognize.
For example, on this picture are also us.
Is
that the Star Wars costume? Yeah,
yes,
I think that's Yoda and Chewbacca. And Princess Leia. Yeah, okay.
And actually, that's one of the workshops that we are doing on that conference. That is helping to learn people liberating structures.
And it is some kind of facilitation methods, and so. But we use a lot of this are from Congress. This is
and that's another set of costumes, unicorns.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, we try to be different.
This is another
from Ukraine. Yeah, it's
Congress, also Microsoft Congress on project management, where we, as Adams family, presenting the Agile Vitamins, which is game on Agile leadership.
Yeah, and this is there is also situation cards with funny characters
from cartoons and fairy tales.
Yes, from fairy tales, and we are describing them as possible leaders, different leaders.
Different leader types.
For example, Red Riding Hood, it's one of the type, and some characteristics for her, and so on. But this is more like a workshop. It's not, it is on the cards yes, and it is a set already also prepared for sales.
So yeah, it is more affordable, but this is kind of separate, and cards plus workshop.
On jobs. So it looks more like show business than so, and that's Freddie Mercury here and there. Yeah.
Yes, and it was
Radio Gaga.
And it also is from Kiev, I guess. Yes, it was project conference, and there was because we use if we create some workshop.
So this is from Ukraine. The picture was actually taken in Ukraine.
Yes, it is.
When was it?
And this is as well.
2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember.
No, 2 years ago. It was before pandemic.
Yeah, it was before pandemic. Yeah.
Just shortly before pandemic.
And this is a process of
creating a new game.
Yeah.
So that's what Maria does.
And prototyping some new game that can be played on, but it was basically on real life, not just online. But we use some elements for online as well that we create offline.
Yeah.
So and this was one of the trainings where we creating the children's book using Scrum. And
so in order to not make the Scrum learning process again, make it more fun.
I guess,
so
this is a result.
What we
for example, in Berlin, one of the workshops was.
Yeah, it's Scrum Gathering, one of the biggest agile conferences where I presented.
If you don't know what Scrum is, just Google it. But it's another sort of philosophy of managing projects.
Scrum is an approach
framework
how teams create products in iterative and incremental way.
Yeah. So kind of efficient, agile process.
Yeah, but it's also, it's not so easy to learn. But
it's not just an idea. There is actually like a whole education system around it. So,
and we created this workshop to make it more fun as well. You can be totally new in this project management world, but you understand through this doing. By doing, you are learning what does it mean to be agile, to be in this Scrum team, and how it works without knowing this theory.
And we do the same game now online, because you can create the game, the book, but PDF version using online instruments. And the positive way is that you can play with children from school, secondary school, and you can go to the bank or investment fund board, and you say, okay, let's start with a game. And you play a game, and then you talk about how they felt, and then is it applicable.
One question, very important question that just came in. So for the purpose of the X-Culture Challenge, so what the X-Culture students do they need to focus on your Seawolf game, or can they talk about the company in more general terms?
What we would like to probably to keep focus on Competent.PM Seawolf, but not mandatory just the online version, how to scale it and promote internationally, but probably also about the print version altogether, and possible synergies around it. So we are quite open.
Yeah, and so now you know who we are, what we do. So we are a bit crazy.
Not completely,
in a good way, yeah. And I think I finally cracked the meaning of your company name. I've been looking at this whiteboard all this time, and I'm thinking, what does it mean? But I think that PM stands for project management, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's registered in Panama. But
why is it PM not AM? Like, what was that PM? So okay, now it makes sense. So it's competent project management.
On the T-shirt it's written.
I'm competent PM, right?
Project, yes.
I thought maybe I'm competent in the afternoon, but not in the morning, maybe. Well, I'm working on a paper here with a few professors on the effects of chronotypes in the teams. And so chronotype, that's, like some people are active in the morning, some people are active in the afternoon. And so when you have a global virtual team, not only you have people who are, kind of have different chronotypes, like larks and doves and owls, but also different time zones. And so I'm still in this PM, AM mode. And I'm like, I see, is it about chronotype or, or is it like, like the late night show games or something like that, like PM only for adults, PM type of games, but that's project management.
Yes. And it was one of my ideas that, we were searching for the name, and there was some other options about these competences and so on. And I was trying how to make it shorter, and that it means something as well, even with this domain. So we registered in Panama.
So the actual domain is PM, right?
Yes.
All right, that makes sense. So it's not seawolf.com, it's seawolf.pm.
It is
competent.pm.
And it was like my idea when I created this brand. I was thinking that probably it could be like an umbrella. So competent PM, and we can do something more under this. So you can take it into account if you have some creative ideas what we can do more. Then also it will be nice to see it. But yes, Seawolf, it is specific this board game, a name for this board game, that you are like a competent captain in a project management sea. So you are steering your ship, and
makes perfect sense.
So when we introduce this competition on event, we always try to make sure that trainers do a little bit of role play.
Right.
I know that one of the trainers in Czech Republic comes with a real pipe, you know, to the to the.
Well, why not? I mean, education
And
does not
in
have to
this
be boring, right?
in the shirt, etc. But you also can use the character slogans like "Ahoy,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
aboard!"
Well, education doesn't have to be boring. I mean, it doesn't have to be boring lectures. And why not make it a little bit more fun, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, Maria is now learning a little bit of anatomy, and she found it's quite boring, I would say, because she found one video lectures where professor he is using his gestures and timbre and humor so much that you can remember even I.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, again, yeah, you're right. Any topic can be made fun. And I think any topic can be made boring, right? So if you don't do it right.
Yes.
There is a question from Robert. If it affects the searchability or, you know, promotion of your basically search engine optimization, the fact that your company or domain is in Panama, is it limiting the search when people look for the game?
Actually, we can't be sure how it impacts because we don't know it. We haven't made some research on that. So it is good to discover something like that.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure if that's why, you know, if this is the reason why Robert asked that question, but we just had a webinar right before this one with ZenCV. It's a company, the founder is currently in Serbia, but originally he was in Italy when the company was founded. And so he created the domain, so it was zencv.it, Italy. And so now they are on .com, but somehow there is this Italian version of the website. And he says that they still get many more customers from Italy, even though they're not focusing on Italy, it's not in Italian. But somehow that domain name sort of always, you know, promotes the site more in Italy and not somewhere else. And so I'm not sure if that's a problem, if it can be rectified, if it can be done right, but I'm kind of curious if you have more customers out of Panama. And if so, maybe that's the reason. So
yeah, but I'm not sure if we have we don't have huge traffic on this website.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Yeah, and I cannot imagine that people specifically, you know, like let's search for the games. So I think in most cases they kind of know what they're looking for, right? So they
yes,
to go to.
and mostly we have the customers who come to us directly through some recommendations.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, and word of mouth, or they have seen us somewhere performing or have played a game and so on, or some recommendations. So traffic to the website is a minor for sure, but still, if you have some good ideas how to increase it, then come and share it. What I would like to tell that, yes, if we increase this traffic, and so one of the ideas was that we have not realized, not made it yet. So these T-shirts, for example, they are quite also nice. Yeah, and this,
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so this was one of the additional products that we could put on that website, for example. So far, we have used them as an additional bonus. So we can make a package, and for some customers, we send it as a gift.
Yeah.
But it's not a part of the set.
Yeah. X-Culture is opening its online store today. So we got it finally already. So we have a lot of inquiries from students if they can get like t-shirts with the X-Culture logo. I have here, so this is one of the shorts that students symposia in Canada. So, but we have all kinds of, you know, a little memorabilia like coffee mugs and t-shirts and, you know, like backpacks with X-Culture logo. And so we usually distribute them at the X-Culture Symposia when we meet face-to-face, but then students say, oh, can I buy one? And so we didn't have the infrastructure and anything, but then one of the students, actually a student, came and said, I can set up your store, I can run it, you don't need to pay me anything, so I'll operate it. And we thought, okay, well, let's try it. And so he found this company that can make products basically on demand, so it's not like we have to have a big warehouse like I have. And so if somebody buys an item, they make that item and ship it to the person. And so we even get like 5% or 10% of sales. So we don't, not really going to make any money on it. But if anybody wants to buy a t-shirt like with the Xculture logo on it or a hat, you can now order. You can even design your own, whichever way you want. So with the Xculture logo on it. And so, yeah, so maybe you should add that option to your website as well.
Yeah, that's an opportunity.
It was one of the ideas that we could.
We can recommend you. So Isaiah is the student who did it. So now he has the experience. It's all operational. We're going to literally go live today. We had a big meeting yesterday just to test drive it, make sure that everything works. But yeah, if you need that help, we have an Xculture student who might be able to help.
Cool. It would be interesting. Yes. So anything else?
Yeah, I think we're pretty much out of time. So I'll just tell the students. So one of the students asked if we can choose any company. Yes, you can choose any company. So last semester we had a whole 15 companies and it was too many. So it was too difficult to manage all. So this time we decided that we're going to limit it to 5, but then we had so many interesting inquiries, so many interesting products that I couldn't say no to so many of them. So we ended up with 7, I believe, or 8. And so you can see all of them on the resource page. And yes, Competent.PM is one of them. So you can choose any company you want. And so we expect about 1,000 teams total. So it will be about 150, 160 companies teams per company on average. But then again, some are more popular, some are a little bit less popular. And so you guys can choose anyone. And here I'll just show very briefly. So I'll use Competent.PM as an example. So for each company, you have basically the instructions, the brief. And so for each of them, you will find the links to the website. You will find all the information that you need. Then there is a description of the company itself, a little bit about the history, a little bit about the product. It's slightly different for each company, but this one is very typical. So you can, on a few pages, you have a lot of information, much of what we've discussed today, but, with links, with much more information about the products and the business model and whatnot. And then for each of these challenges, you have a list of questions that the company needs help with. So for example, for Competent.PM, you have kind of a general list and then more specifically, so what needs to go into each of the sections. And yeah, you just follow this list of, instructions. In full disclosure, we tell you exactly how each of the sections will be evaluated. So when you submit your work, there will be usually about 6-7 professors per team who will read your work and evaluate it. So there will be like 6-7 independent sets of evaluations. And so this is exactly how we will tell the raters to evaluate your work for your grade. So you can sort of do self-evaluation first if you want. So nothing's a secret here. And in each of the challenges, then you have a description of basically formatting requirements, how many pages you can have, what the executive summary should look like and stuff like that. And then you have the schedule. So for example, for the early track, the teams were formed on Monday. We formed a few more in the last few days, but then your next step is to submit your basically progress report that is due every Sunday, but this time you don't really need to submit anything per se. All you have to do is just complete that weekly survey and tell us if you've been communicating with your team. There is a little kind of acquaintanceship test, so to speak. So it's not for a grade, it's more to prompt you to ask your team members questions about, do they have a job? Do they have a pet? What the hobbies are, things like that. So we want you to get to know each other during this first week. And so you don't really need to do any work other than start looking at the challenges and maybe selecting a company and getting to know each other. And then you have until the end of the next week to select the company. So you don't have to do anything other than just tell us, okay, we're going to work on Competent.PM, for example. If you decide to change the company later on, you can do that. Although I guess once you start working on it, you don't want to waste all that effort. So hardly ever students change the client companies. But yes, you have basically 2 weeks just to get to know each other and select the client company. And then if you have any questions, send them to admin@xculture.org. So the company owners are very busy, and usually we ask them not to provide the direct contacts. Some companies did, and then they would get literally hundreds of phone calls every day. We have like 6,000 students, obviously, a lot of questions, and they have a job to do. And so what we do is, in addition to the webinar, in addition to the PDF file with more information, you can always send an email and ask a question. And so my assistant will monitor those questions. In many cases, if we know the answer, we will give the answer to you directly. But then if it's a new question, we will send it back to the company and then ask for more clarifications. But then also for each of the companies, we have a catalog of frequently asked questions. So for example, here, a company that participated last semester, so we have already some of the questions from the last semester with the answers. So you can go here and see them. If it's a new company, like for example, Competent.PM, so there have been no questions so far. So when you click here, you will see that you'll just see an empty file for now. So, but once the questions start coming, if there will be something that is not covered in the brief or in the webinar, we will start adding those questions here and answering them, so you can basically, you know, access this database when you need. And so this way, when the same question comes again and again and again, like I guarantee you over the course of the semester, there will be probably 50 teams that will ask, so how much does the game cost? So obviously we don't need to bother you each time we know the answer, so my assistant will just copy and paste that, so it will go directly into the FAQ database. But if it's something new that nobody asked before, we don't know the answer, then we'll go to the company and we'll ask that. And yep, that's basically where we stand. And well, let's see how the things go. And I hope that you students will come up with many interesting, good ideas for the company, for your client organization, Competent.PM or any other one you work on. And hopefully you'll impress them so much that not only their business will explode and grow exponentially, but maybe they'll even offer you some sort of a position or maybe a regional representation or I don't know.
Yes, and it is possible that anybody could become this distributor.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so if
happens all the time. We've had many companies, as I said, in many cases, the company did not plan to hire anyone, but then there would be a student who did so well, like literally, like, you know, got them like 5 contracts in these few months that they worked, that the company said, hey, you seem to be very good at that. Would you like to be our regional employee, for example, or join our headquarters here? And so it happens all the time. So we'll see how things go this time.
Yeah, and we are ready to share with
Yes.
this 30% for
and
sure.
and the process is very smooth. It's fast. It's not cumbersome.
Yeah. So yeah, that's an opportunity to make some money, learn something new. So why not? Yeah, that's another option. Well, thank you so much. It's been really fun. I think that was actually the, the most laughs in a presentation, because normally, I guess it's a mistake, but normally we do these presentations, webinars kind of serious, that the company owner talks about the business and, this is what we do and this is where we sell. So that's the first time I see someone dressed up, for the occasion. So why not? I guess not only education doesn't have to be boring, business doesn't have to be boring. It can be quite
Yes.
Absolutely.
live only once. Why not have some fun in the process?
It's our motto, yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, why not? Yeah, wonderful.
Good.
So,
ahoy, aboard.
Yeah, aye, aye, Captain. Yeah. So, yeah.
So, see you.
And we wish you learning was fun.
Yeah. There is actually an interesting comment here. So somebody just did some research and they said that Panama's country domain is .pa. So TM may be another country. So maybe
another. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe you'll need to do some research. Maybe it turns out that you're, I don't know, some other islands or something. So yeah. So I don't know. Maybe the student got it wrong, but yeah.
Yeah,
all right, well, thank you so much. Then those of you in Asia and Europe, good evening. And those of you in the Americas, have a nice day. And yeah, see you later. All right.
See you later.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you so much. Bye-bye.